interacting with you. I would like to begin the program by asking our registrar, Rhonda Kamabach, to give the invocation. Rhonda?
Okay, thank you. Please bow your heads wherever you are. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for the precious gift of life that we've been given. We thank you for every member of the COSTAATT community, our president, Dr. Keith Nurse, staff, faculty, and students. As we meet today for the orientation of our new students, we pray that we all would seek your wisdom to enable us to fulfill our aspirations and obligations, regardless of our roles. May our new students feel welcomed and empowered for success in all that they do. We ask for your blessing to be given to each of us today. Guide our proceedings and keep us safe. We pray these things in your name. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you very much, Mrs. Rhonda Kamabach. You have made an excellent choice in choosing COSTAATT as your tertiary institution of choice. I guarantee you. And at this time, I wish to invite welcoming remarks from our Vice President, Student Affairs, Dr. Helen Williams Kamabach.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Hi, good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to COSTAATT. We thank you for choosing COSTAATT for the pursuit of your tertiary education. We are excited to have you. We wished that we could have had an in-person orientation, but this is probably going to be the last of our virtual orientation ceremonies. But we look forward to meeting with you. We know that many of you will be pursuing your classes online and may not have many occasions to come to the campuses, but we do look forward to seeing our students. It's always a joy for us to see students traversing our campuses and just being part of campus life and activities on campus. And so we do hope that we will be seeing you. As Vice President of Student Affairs, it is my responsibility to ensure that the support services that the college provides, that those services meet your needs, that we attend to your concerns, and we want to encourage you to reach out to us, whether you need support at the start of your journey, at the middle, towards the end as you're graduating, or even as you move on from COSTAATT. It is our responsibility to give you the services that you need, and it's also our right to hear from you when you feel that these services aren't meeting your needs and there are things that we can do to correct that. We want you to reach out to us. I want to list the departments that form part of the Division of Student Affairs because we think it's important that you know where you can go to get the support that you need. And one of the things that we found with a lot of our students is that students don't reach out for help. And so there are services that are underutilized within the college. They're available, but the students either don't know that they exist or they're a little insecure about the notion of reaching out to get help. We want to break that. We want to change that. What we will do on our end is provide as much information as possible, connect with you as often as possible, remind you of the support services that are available. It's not just about the academics, but there are other things that will affect you throughout your journey with us. And so it's important that you access the support services that can help you, that can help to make the journey an easier one rather than struggling through on your own. So we urge you to take advantage. It's our responsibility to ensure that you're aware of these services, and we will do our best to get the information to you. We're asking that you don't hesitate to reach out to us. The Division of Student Affairs, the departments that fall within the division, you all would have gone through the admissions office. So the enrollment management department, that's where the recruitment and admissions function, those functions are carried out. And you would have gone there to get your applications, to submit your applications. You would have communicated with admissions counselors, etc. And you're now at the point of being registered students of the college. Some of you, if you've come on and you still have some admissions issues, some things to attend to, we urge you to reach out to your admissions counselor. On your offer letter, you would have seen the name of the counselor assigned specifically to you. Make use, take advantage, reach out if there are any lingering issues coming out of the application process, the admissions process. We urge you to reach out to the admissions office, reach out directly to your counselor so that you can get the support that you need. The Office of the Registrar also falls under the Division of Student Affairs, and Mrs. Cumberbatch, Rhonda Cumberbatch, would have started us off with a prayer. Rhonda is the college's registrar, and this is a very key position in any college. The registrar's office is where all your records are housed. The registration process is managed by the registrar's office. So some of you would have gone through your advisement and then registration. Some of you may have registration issues, maybe problems getting into classes, etc. The registrar's office is where you will get that support. And throughout your time with COSTAATT, you'll be reaching out to the registrar's office. You're going to be reaching out for letters, for transcripts, issues with gate, registering for classes. When it's time to graduate, you're going to be reaching out to the registrar's office. Anything to do with student finances, in the interim, you're reaching out to the registrar's office for that. And when you get to graduation and beyond, and you want transcripts, your diploma, the registrar's office plays a key role in providing support services to help you throughout your time at COSTAATT. And so become familiar with the services that they provide. We want to ensure that you know where you should go to access these services. And as I said, we will be communicating with you in small bites so that you can become familiar with the departments that serve you here at COSTAATT. The Department of Student Life and Athletics is headed by Mr. Carter, who is chairing this evening's orientation. Mr. Carter is our Director of Student Life and Athletics. And that's where you do some of the lighter things that are so necessary to your development as a student and to just staying sane, doing things other than academics. And so our co-curricular engagement, athletics would be housed there. And we're trying to work on revamping and rebuilding our athletics program. And as Mr. Carter and his team do that, we will be reaching out to you for those who are interested in participating in athletics. Our registered student organizations, our student clubs, that's where you get to engage in self-expression. We recently had our first spoken word session last Wednesday, the evening before the holiday, where our students just get to come and express themselves. And there are many clubs, numerous clubs that Mr. Carter and his team will be sharing information with you on, and we want you to get involved. We also want you to know that there are opportunities as students for you to recommend clubs that you would like to establish, things that are of interest to you. So maybe you're looking for something, it's not available, and there are quite a few options available. But in the event that there's a group of you that might be interested in a particular activity, we invite you to reach out. And so Student Life and Athletics also does other things like hikes. You'll be hearing them talking about planning sports day as we go along. We recently had our 5K that was also organized by Student Life and Athletics. So a number of co-curricular activities are managed through this department. The Career Management Services Department also falls within the Division of Student Affairs. And this is where you get support to prepare you for the world of work. So you'll see advertisements coming for jobs that are available for those of you who are in a position to work while studying. You'll get opportunities for resume writing workshops, things to help you present yourselves to potential employers, help writing cover letters, preparing for interviews. You'll have mock interview sessions. We recently hosted a recruitment fair where graduates and current students came and actually met with and were interviewed by employers. So we provide that real world experience. It's not just the preparation, but then we give you the opportunity to go out and seek jobs and bring employers in to meet with you. You get that type of support through the Career Management Services Department. That department also manages our work study program, and we recently recruited some students to participate in the program and will continue throughout the semester. You have to have been with the college for 1 year before you can apply for the work study program. And this is a paid program where students are allowed to work for a maximum of 20 hours per week at a rate of $20 per hour. So having covered your first academic year, we want to give you an opportunity to settle in, see how you're doing academically, to ensure that you can manage, that you can cope with both academics and the work experience. And then these opportunities are available to you, as well as our Student Ambassador program. And so you'll be hearing from Career Management Services. They offer workshops throughout the year that will help to strengthen and prepare you for the world of work. And our Health and Counseling Services Department, this is one of the areas that for some time has been heavily underutilized, but we're seeing as we do more awareness and engagement, we're seeing more and more students accessing our services. This is where you can get help when you're struggling mentally, psychologically, you're dealing with the issues of life, your studies, your personal life, your work, other circumstances. This is where you can get counseling support through the Health and Counseling Services Department. And this is a cost that there's no cost attached to this. There are a significant number of sessions that you will be able to access with our counselors at no cost. And then, of course, if other arrangements have to be made, other arrangements for long-term counseling. But we provide that sort of support. We provide workshops that we try to encourage students to attend: coping, stress management, wellness, well-being, etc. Things that we take for granted, self-care workshops, etc. But that would really benefit us if we just took the time to stop with the studies, etc., and just participate for an hour, 30 minutes, acquire some new skills, some new tips for coping, etc. And so we will be sharing with you our health and wellness email address. You'll get all of this information in your package from us. And this is the address that you will use when you want to reach out to say, I need to see a counselor. You're feeling stressed out, you're under pressure, you need to talk with somebody. You email MCC Health and Wellness. It's handled confidentially. Someone will set up an appointment for you, and you'll have an opportunity to meet with a counselor. This department also handles disability services. So maybe you've indicated on your application form that you have a medical condition or disability that might hinder you throughout your studies. This is the department, and some of you may have heard from Health and Counseling. You may have had initial interviews to get a sense of how we can help you. That is the department that deals with these things. And they also host workshops and other sessions that can help you. One of the things that we're reintroducing very soon in this department is a peer tutoring program. And we've reached out to our psychology faculty to help us pull this program together. And so we will start putting things in place for that. And that is going to be very useful, where your peers will be working with you on tutoring and engaging. So these are the services that we offer through the Division of Student Affairs. We do not want you to be strangers. You pay your registration fee, you pay your guild fees. These are services that you benefit from as registered students of COSTAATT. So don't come to COSTAATT, struggle your way through, deal with stress. Don't seek support that is available to you. This is your right as a student of COSTAATT to reach out to us and say, I need support in this area. And so we hope that you will reach out. I'm seeing a message from Shaquille asking where he can download. Shaquille will be sharing all the information with you. So be sure to check your student email. And I'm glad that he asked that question, because one of the things we found is that a lot of students don't get the information because they don't check their email very often. If you have any issues with setting up your inbox, maybe somebody could just type in the chat the IT help desk email address. So if you haven't yet accessed your student email, it's important that you reach out to the help desk. Our IT help desk, they're very efficient. They respond within short time. Just reach out and say, I need help accessing my student email, and they will help you get it set up. But it's important that you have that set up, because the student, you're communicated with via your student email. So reach out to us. We are here. We're happy to provide whatever support you need. And so again, I just want to welcome you. You will hear from our Student Council President, Zoani, who will talk a bit about what the students are doing and how they can support you. And a little later on, you'll hear from our President, Dr. Keith Nurse, who has set a new strategic direction for the student and for the college, and one that takes into consideration the needs of the students to ensure that the students are well served as we move forward in our new strategic direction. So I'm happy to welcome you all to COSTAATT. We're glad that you've chosen COSTAATT. We look forward to serving you throughout your journey with us. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Williams Cumberbatch. And for those of you who could not join us or who may have to leave for whatever reason, it is being recorded and we will upload it to our YouTube page. So you can look out for that. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the Student Council President, Ms. Zoani Peters. She's a real fabulous personality, and I think, to the best of my knowledge, she's also the first non-national to be president of the Student Council. So without further ado, I wish to invite Ms. Zoani Peters to give welcoming remarks.
Hello, hi everyone. How are you? Welcome to our virtual student orientation. I am quite thrilled to welcome you to COSTAATT. Mr. Carter mentioned that I am probably first non-national. I am Vincentian. If there are any other regional students here, I would like to welcome you as well. I know the transition between high school and college can be quite challenging, which is why I'm excited to officially introduce you to the COSTAATT family. I, along with the other members of the Student Council, will be your guide as you embark on this new journey. I know that you may have enrolled at COSTAATT with one particular goal in mind, which is to achieve a degree or certificate, which can push you further in life. But while you're doing that, the Student Council is here to make that journey unforgettable. We're here to indulge you in events, workshops, and even allow you to network in many opportunities. In the past, we successfully built bridges to connect each student of COSTAATT, as well as other tertiary students, such as students from UTT, USC, and UE. We had health fairs and career fairs and other activities in the past where we allowed students of COSTAATT to bond with each other a bit more, because that is what college life is all about. Yes, you're getting your degree, but you should be able to have a bit fun and bond with your classmates while you're doing that. However, with you, the incoming freshman, we're looking forward to turning up the heat a bit more. As you settle into your new environment, I would like for you to gear up for our upcoming first week. It will be an opportunity for you to show some school pride and immerse yourself within the COSTAATT environment. Also, on the menu, we're cooking up some events such as Sports Day. You heard Dr. Cumberbatch mention that. We also have community service for those of you who like to partake in those kind of activities. We have development workshops and pop-up booths and some other surprises I really do not want to spill as yet. Do not forget that all work and no play makes Jack a very, very, very dull boy. So as you embark on this new journey, I will encourage you to engage in our clubs such as spoken word, we have photography, music club, etc. Whatever you can think of, we have. And even if we don't have it, you're free to make one. I encourage you to partake in the different events that would occur during the time here, such as the different hikes. As Mr. Carter and Dr. Cumberbatch mentioned, we had the 5K recently. Show your school pride and partake in these events. So once more, welcome to the COSTAATT family and get ready for an unforgettable adventure. I cannot wait to meet you. To be honest, if you see me on campus, do not be afraid to come up to me and ask me any questions. If you have any problems or any issues, I am happy to help you. And do not forget to follow us on Instagram at costatt.stu.gopt. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zoani. And I saw a few questions in the chat. And one particular question, someone asked if they can join more than one club. They most certainly can. And as Zoani would have said, if there is a club, if there's an activity that you are interested in, and we do not have a club, you are free to get together with your colleagues, and you can form a registered student organization or an informal organization to engage in such activity. Coming up next, we have a video presentation that we would like to share with you that gives you some really critical information on the college. And so sit back, relax, as we share with you the Welcome to COSTAATT 2023 video presentation.
There seems to be a problem with the audio.
Yeah, we're not hearing anything. Somebody will have to share the audio. Mr. Carter, we need the audio isn't shared, so we're not hearing anything.
Yes, I'm getting Janella now. One second.
We're still not hearing.
COSTAATT is the premier technical and technological college in Trinidad and Tobago, and it plays a critical role in terms of building competitive advantage in key sectors. For example, in the area of medical technologies, COSTAATT is the #1 training institution, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but I would dare say in the Southern Caribbean and in the wider English-speaking Caribbean.
COSTAATT was established at a time when tertiary education was not accessible by every student. It depended on your level of academic readiness, your academic qualifications, having graduated secondary school. What we did was we sought to some extent, level the playing field or close the gap, the achievement gap between the students in terms of academic competence. And so we are equipping more citizens to compete in the workplace. In essence, generally, that's more or less what we're doing, because students who did not necessarily achieve A levels are able to come to COSTAATT. Students who achieved A levels can also come to COSTAATT. And so we've seen a range of students traversing our campuses. We've had students who have been A students, they've left secondary schools having done exceptionally well. And we've had those who struggled. And here they are in the same classes, pursuing the same courses, and they could all achieve the same certification at the end of their time with us.
Pursuing an education at COSTAATT does not only entail the study of your technical area of choice, your program area of choice, or your major. It requires you to undertake what we call a series of courses in our general education or core curriculum menu, and these courses are designed to enhance the holistic development of an individual. It therefore prepares you not just in terms of your career of choice, but it also prepares you for the workplace in terms of the soft skills, in terms of teamwork, in terms of leadership. So those core curriculum or general education courses, coupled with the extracurricular activities, would provide that type of grooming for our students.
We have a range of services we try to make available to our students. We understand the needs, and these are needs that are not unique to COSTAATT in any way. During the pandemic, for example, we offer health and counseling services. Students struggle. Students need the support, but there's this taboo around health and counseling services, as you would know, the whole idea of going to a counselor, etc. We had to get creative during the pandemic to ensure that students continue to receive that support. And so we pivoted to online, and our students have been coming, accessing the services confidentially, getting the help they need. We know that there are different factors in their personal lives that will affect their ability to perform in the classroom. And so we try to provide that support to help them deal with some of the challenges of life so that they can perform more confidently within the classroom and even in their personal lives. Even if you're working or you're thinking full-time, COSTAATT facilitates you. You walk into an institution that owns you. They make you feel like family, that care. They care not just about your studies, but about your life, about work. They give you advice. You go into the admin office and the girls know who you are.
They know your name. You're not a number in a system. You'll never be lost. And it will be challenging, as anything that's fantastic in life should be. There would be some challenges, but it's not impossible. And when you're finished, your experience would have been a hands-on one. You'll get the theory and you'll get the practical. If you're doing a bachelor's, you do 2 practicums in it. So you know people in the industry afterwards. And employers will have no doubt that when they hire you, you can get the job done.
Career management services is a significant area for us. Our career management services, through that department, students get support with resume writing workshops, getting ready for an interview. Jobs are constantly posted, so students get a sense of where there are openings. We offer workshops where human resource practitioners or professionals from other organizations will just come and talk to our students about what to expect in the workplace, what are the opportunities, how can you get on board. So we try to create that space through our career services where students can be equipped. And we're talking about students who have not worked before, students who are currently working and hoping to move up, hoping to be promoted, hoping to change careers, etc. So we cater to all of the students that we serve. Anyone, regardless of where you are at in your career, can get support through our career management services.
When I came to COSTAATT, I felt like this is what I knew and this is what I thought was going to happen. And it's completely different. I have met people in different courses and I'm still friends with them today. We all helped each other out to be better, to get the best grades. And it was strange because you've gone from life away in university to a college campus in Trinidad and Tobago, and everybody just really wants to be, as a group, the best. It's not individuality. And that, for me, was refreshing to be in COSTAATT in Trinidad. It wasn't something I expected.
In many ways, COSTAATT education, the time I spent at COSTAATT, the instructors I had, and my peers, all contributed to precisely who I am right now. COSTAATT really allowed me to mature, align my critical thinking skills, and find ways to apply theoretical knowledge that may underpin a particular discipline, in my case, information technology, and really apply it to almost any real world solution. And going through my bachelor's degree after and my MBA, it was really hilarious in many ways that even for my MBA, I was still using the foundations of what COSTAATT gave me almost 10 years before. There was no GATE in those days. There was actually a program called Dollar for Dollar, which I was very happy for. But it still meant I had to find half of my tuition. So, you know, you're struggling there check to check, month to month, traveling on the bus route to class, leaving, you know, ungodly hours in the night and having to fight your way to get back home with the masses. But when I look back at that 3-year period, it, as I said, it fundamentally changed who I was at core, and it served the exact purpose I was looking for, which is my educational growth. It was nice to get a certificate too, but you know, the educational growth was there.
We know that for some students, paying for college is difficult. Not everyone is GATE funded. There are some students who are paying their way. We are aware of this, and we've put in place some very generous payment plans to help our students cover the cost of college and not have, you know, not for the cost not to be prohibitive. So through our student affairs division, we try to provide this support through the payment plan service so that students can pay in increments and complete college without the stress of having to worry about making one payment up front or not having the funding. We try to provide support as far as possible.
You can work and study and do that more effectively now than ever before. The college is geared up to offer things like micro-credentialing, in fact, almost like nano degrees, which are transferable, meaning that you can take those credits and use them in your application for another degree or to move on in your education. And they're stackable. So you can say, all right, I'll do this course now, and then I'll come back and do another one, all in the same vein. And then you could use those credits and transfer to or matriculate into a tertiary institution, whether it is at COSTAATT or somewhere else. And so we have in effect become more student focused and client focused in terms of the way in which we offer a whole range of educational opportunities.
Thank you very much. I see we are getting a lot of questions and so in the chat room, and I think Dr. Kamabach would have shared our email address. We want to deal with each of your concerns individually, and therefore we are asking you to email us your questions and your concerns, and we will get in touch with you. We'll get in touch with you directly. And so you can send your email, send your concerns to our email address at studentaffairs@costatt.edu.tt, and we will certainly get back in touch with you and assist you in those concerns that you may have. At this time, it gives
Mr.
me
Carter?
great pleasure. Dr. Kamabach.
I just wanted to mention one thing. There are some students who are asking about the e-classroom. And I think there might be the assumption that IT help desk assists with that. So I just put a response, that's your faculty. So to get into the e-classroom, the IT help desk does not assist with that. They assist with other technical issues, your email address, etc. Once you've registered for a class, your faculty would provide a list of students registered, and you're given access to the e-classroom. So if you're having any problems getting into the e-classroom, you can directly email your advisor or your faculty member, all right? We just wanted to make sure everyone is clear on that. But feel free to use the student affairs email, as Mr. Carter said. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kamabach. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our president, Dr. Keith Nurse, who joined the college last year in 2022. Dr. Nurse is the president of COSTAATT, and he is the former principal CEO of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College in St. Lucia. He's an expert member of the UN Committee for Development Policy and a former senior economist and advisor on structural policies and innovation. And this is at the OECD in Paris. He is the former World Trade Organization chair at the University of the West Indies, where he also served as the executive director of the UE Consulting Company. Dr. Nurse has published in areas such as trade policy and services, industrial policy and innovation, governance, creative industries and the digital economy, tourism and cultural heritage, migration and diaspora, gender and economic restructuring, climate action and sustainable development and disaster risk reduction. We at COSTAATT, we very happy to have Dr. Nurse with us, and it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Nurse to give the feature address. Dr. Nurse.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Carter. Thanks for this splendid introduction. And I want to thank my colleagues, Dr. Williams Kamabach in particular, for leading the charge and bringing all of this together. Orientation is a really critical time of the year. And in fact, it ushers in the new academic year. So we are really gratified by the numbers who have applied, who've been accepted, and who've decided to enroll at COSTAATT. We expect that this year will improve on our previous years. And so it's a real pleasure to be welcoming you to this year's academic year. So if you're a returning student, welcome back. If you're a new student, welcome to the COSTAATT family. I'm new to the COSTAATT family as well, as Mr. Carter indicated. It's no more than about 9 months now since I've been at the helm as president. And I can say to you that I've learned a lot about COSTAATT in this very short time frame. We've also done a lot as well to transform the possibilities of COSTAATT, recognizing that the world of work and the world of education have been transformed significantly in recent years. And in many respects, the COVID pandemic helped to accelerate all of these processes. So just to share with you, I read recently a quotation from the World Economic Forum where they said that the future of education lies in empowering young learners to embrace and develop their uniquely human qualities, those unlikely to ever be replaced by technology. And it's a really striking comment and quotation, because what it says is that many of the jobs of today are going to be impacted by some of the new technologies. I'm pretty sure you're all aware of all the discussions about AI or artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, et cetera, so much so that estimates are that by 2030, which is not very far from now, 60% of jobs will be automated by some of these new technologies. What we do know is this: it's not just that the technologies will be replacing workers, it is that those who are able or best able to tap into those technologies are the ones who will be replacing those who haven't. And so the onus is on learners to expand their capabilities, access the use of these new technologies to their advantage. What we also know is this, is that for every job that is lost by technology, it generates 2.4 new jobs. And so the real question then is not whether you will be disrupted in the workplace. For students of COSTAATT, the real issue is, would you be able to be part of that 2.4 jobs that are being created and consequently come out on the upside of these transformations? So that's what we at COSTAATT are preparing you for going forward. COSTAATT's mission and vision is focused on offering an accredited institution. In fact, I would dare say that COSTAATT was the first higher educational institution in Trinidad and Tobago to be accredited by the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago. And we've been twice accredited now. And so COSTAATT is in good stead in terms of the quality that is on offer, because we have been tested. But we are a four-year undergraduate institution where you are allowed to do both associate degrees, which are 2 years, and bachelor's degrees, which are 4 years, which can be used as a basis for either transferring to another academic institution or be used to enhance your career as lifelong learners. It's also that we create a framework to allow for developmental education in areas where people may not be as strong as they need to be. And then also a strong focus on what we call community education, continuing education, generally what we could call lifelong education, where we help with workforce training, and also increasingly inserting people into the workplace through internships and work-study programs. In fact, 66% of our programs at COSTAATT are what we call applied degrees, which is you are learning a skills-based, skills-first framework, which is in increasing demand globally. In fact, recent reports from the United Kingdom and from Canada indicate that students who have a strong skills-based training are the ones that are preferred by employers today. And so, yes, they need you to be able to illustrate that you have good critical and theoretical knowledge, but they also require you to have the skills so that you can jump into the workplace and work effectively almost immediately. And in that respect, that's what COSTAATT offers. We've graduated over 21,000 students since 2000. And from our graduate exit surveys, what has been indicated is that 77% of our graduates have been able to improve their job prospects as a result of studying at COSTAATT. It means the old adage that you must learn to earn applies here. 68% of our graduates says that what they learned at COSTAATT was very much relevant to their job. So these are people who, in many instances, already had jobs and came to COSTAATT for upskilling. And then when asked, would you recommend or would you choose to come back to COSTAATT, 74% of our graduates have indicated that they would. So in many respects, these are good statistics. It illustrates that COSTAATT has been serving you, the students and the learners, in a very important and significant way. But we are not prepared to rest on our laurels. In fact, since joining COSTAATT, we have engaged in a very rapid process of transformation and updating of the institution. Indeed, we have moved towards transforming each one of our schools. For those of you who are returning, you would note that the names of the schools have been changed. And it's not just a matter of nomenclature. We have actually transforming the curriculum to make it more contemporary, more globally relevant, and more marketable. So for example, the Ken Gordon School is now called a School of Communication, Creative and Digital Media. In fact, 3 of our schools now have digital in their name. So the School of Business is now the Business and Digital Technologies. And the School of Liberal Arts is that of Liberal Arts and Digital Humanities. And in some of the other schools, so for example, what used to be our School of Nursing is now called Nursing, Health, and Medical Technologies, because this is one of the core areas of competitiveness at COSTAATT, or Medical Technologies program. So we wanted to emphasize that. And then we introduced a new school, the School of Circular Economy, well, the School of Environment, Circular Economy, and Sustainability. And you could well imagine, this is a very contemporary area. Climate change requires us all over the world to change the way in which we both consume as well as produce. And so the ideas of the circular economy are going to be on offer to you from this academic year at COSTAATT. And then our 6th school, which is focused on workforce enhancement and development, is really targeted at working with employers and working with community groups in terms of enhancing skills and focus on very direct skills development. And so that's a critical new growth area that we are offering at the college. My colleagues have just put up our diagram, which describes the new academic structure at COSTAATT. So you would see the 6 schools that are listed up at the top. And I've described what their names are and so on. But we have introduced 2 new key elements to the COSTAATT playbook, if I may call it that. So the first new area is what we call the Upskilling Academy. And the Upskilling Academy is geared towards generating capabilities in some new areas with a focus on entrepreneurship. And so the training that will be offered under the Upskilling Academy is linked to an incubator and it's linked to an accelerator. In the incubator, your business ideas will be helped, we will help you develop it, proof of concepts, some level of focus on building out a business plan or feasibility study, and in effect, just testing the idea. It would also involve accessing some level of technologies that are appropriate to your business plan or business project. But that's not the end of it. It's also linked to financing or funding. And so the accelerator would take those firms or those entrepreneurs or those learners whose projects seem market ready. And so we would help you get to that next level, allow for market entry and facilitation. And then we would allow you to become more involved with a range of our stakeholders with whom we are signing memorandum of understanding and memorandum of cooperation. So you will be looking out for the news in the next couple of months. You will see that we are moving very quickly in this direction. Indeed, we have already started. We have an upskilling academy focused on upcycling, which is focused on generating new businesses that are focused on renewable technologies, on zero waste, really promoting the circular economy. This project and this upskilling academy is being financed through the Inter-American Development Bank's lab. And it's being done in conjunction with the Cropper Foundation. So you will get more information about this as we proceed. One of the new exciting areas that COSTAATT has focused on building out in the last few months is the Tech Hub. The Tech Hub is a facility that's going to be offered to students and to the wider public, where they will be able to come and utilize some of the modern technologies. We're talking about everything from laser cutters to 3D printers and robotics, Internet of Technology devices, you name it. Just recently, I've been talking with some former colleagues and partners about bringing virtual reality and augmented reality into the Tech Hub. We're really excited about this. It's going to be a game changer. There is no facility of this type that's attached to a higher educational institution in Trinidad and Tobago, at least not at the scale at which we will be operating. And in this regard, we are going to ensure that those of you who are in the various schools will be able to access the Tech Hub and be able to utilize or access some of the new technologies. And this is where we say, you know, we are living up to our mantra of focusing on applied learning, so that you're not learning just on the, I was going to say chalkboard. Well, these days we have to take a smart board. And you are going to be able to access these technologies in a way that wasn't possible before. I want to also add, and this is where my colleagues and I are really aiming to transform COSTAATT, particularly in terms of our marketing and branding. So many of the great things about COSTAATT, people don't know. I didn't know. So I didn't know that COSTAATT's multi-science labs were best in class. Not so long ago, I was in Paris and I visited one of the top biotechnology schools, which I had actually visited prior 2 years ago. And they built out their new wing and they introduced some new cutting edge biotechnology labs. After visiting those labs, I can say to you that the labs that we have at our Chaguanas campus, at our San Fernando campus, and we have some of those equipment in Tobago as well, they are on par with, and if not, in some instances, better than some of the labs that I've been to, not just in Paris, but in North America and other locations around the Caribbean. And so you're not suffering for technology, particularly in our multi-science labs. And I would dare say as well, the multi-science labs at our Chaguanas campus was about a 1/3 to 50% larger than the ones that I saw in Paris when I visited recently. So we have good facilities with good space. Our nursing simulation lab, I can tell you, is the best, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, and not just in the English-speaking Caribbean. It's possibly the best in the Caribbean, bar none. And in this regard, both the multi-science technologies and our medtech are really a cut above. And then you add to that the technologies that we have at our in our computer labs, and we're building out or expanding in that area. Just this morning, I was talking to our IT director, and he indicated that the chatbot that we are using, we're the only one in Trinidad and Tobago that is using a chatbot with that level of technology and skill levels built into it. And so, again, COSTAATT sets itself apart. We are, though, in some areas, hoping to build out new technologies, particularly in our School of Communications, New Media, and Creative Industries, the Ken Gordon School. We do recognize that we need to step up. In other areas, for example, like our BA in accounting, COSTAATT has more exemptions than any other institution in the Caribbean. And so the best place to do or study accounting, we would argue, is right here at COSTAATT, because you can get a platform and an easier entry into finalizing your ACCA accreditation and certification. And just to illustrate how well our students are doing, recently, Huawei announced a program called Seeds for the Future. And this year was the first time that COSTAATT students were invited to participate. In prior years, only students from UWI and from UTT participated. This year, we had several students from COSTAATT that were run, and they were only selecting 10 people to participate in an upcoming real-world experience in Costa Rica. And those who do well will go on to China. And I'm proudly able to say that of the 10 people who have been selected, 4 are from COSTAATT. And not only that, the top achieving person in the interviews was a COSTAATT student. And I can tell you, all of the COSTAATT students really were able to illustrate that they had a strong capacity from an applied learning perspective. And that really set them apart from their competitors from UTT and UWI. So we have ended up outnumbering the UE and UTT in terms of this Huawei Seeds of the Future program. So kudos to the COSTAATT students that participated in this. They've done us very, very proud. We've also had students recently who have gone on to be junior reporters. They are graduates from the Ken Gordon School, and they participated recently in the Commonwealth Games. One student has obtained a fully funded opportunity to attend a conference on sport reporting in Geneva, Switzerland, in December 2023. So again, there are lots of other examples of where our students are excelling and where they are, in effect, proving that they're globally competitive. And so we invite all of you to step up to the plate, utilize all the technologies that we have and going to be expanding into, but also just to emphasize the point that Dr. Kamabach raised, which is that it's not good enough to just go to school or access classes online or even physically in a hybrid context. You have to learn through peer-to-peer scenarios. You learn a lot from your colleagues. Also, you learn a lot from participating in internships and the work-study programs, so you can learn a lot from employers and their employees. And then the extracurricular or non-academic areas also help you to learn a level of discipline, about knowing how to show up on time, how to do the required training so that you can run that race or perform in that particular sport. And those skills are absolutely critical for those who want to succeed in the world of work. In fact, in many respects, when employers look at your CV, they're not looking at your grades. They look to see what else are you bringing to the table. And if you are not bringing anything other than your academic achievements, you'd probably be passed over. I know this for a case, especially in North America, even to get into some of the top universities, if you want to move on to do your master's degree, if all you're bringing is good grades, you are not going to get that scholarship and you possibly won't get access to their programs. So I really want to encourage you to, you need to expand your CV to ensure that you're well-rounded and can illustrate to both potential employers as well as potential schools that you may want to go on to in the future, that you are a well-rounded personality. I want to conclude by saying that COSTAATT has, I would argue, an offering that is very competitive. Not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but across the region and further afield. And in this academic year, you will be seeing the introduction of some new technologies which prior students would not have had access to. And this will really be, as I indicated earlier, a game changer. So I invite you to stay tuned, see what's happening on our website. As Dr. Kamabach indicated, you need to be checking your emails, but also make sure to access our student services. We are here to serve you. You are our #1 priority. So with that those final words, I want to bid you farewell, as well as to welcome you once again to COSTAATT. All the best to you. Best regards.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nurse. And there were so many critical things you said. I was particularly interested when you said that as you create jobs in that technology has taken over, it also creates larger jobs if you are prepared for those other jobs. And that's really critical for our students as they prepare for the world of work. So thank you very much, Dr. Nurse. At this time, it leaves us really with just one more task, and that is to really say thank you to all of you. I firstly wish to thank our registrar, Mrs. Rhonda Kamabach, for giving us the invocation. And I know a lot of you will visit Mrs. Kamabach's department, as you know, the registrar is so critical to what we do at COSTAATT. I also want to thank Dr. Helen Williams Kamabach, our Vice President of Student Affairs, who I guarantee you will hear a lot more from during your stay with us here at COSTAATT. To Ms. Zoani Peters, I want to say a special thank you to you and to urge you and your council to continue doing the work that you are doing for our students and for the college, the wider college. I want to finally say a very special thank you to our president, Dr. Nurse, for your words of wisdom and for all the information that you have passed on to our students. And last and by no means least, I wish to thank you, the students, for taking the time. I know many of you would have had to beat the traffic. Those of you live in Central and South, like myself, who had to scramble through the traffic this evening to get here to be with us. And the numbers were fantastic this evening. We are looking forward to serving you. We are looking forward to working with you. We are looking forward to make your experience here at COSTAATT a magnificent experience, one that you will take with you throughout your life, one that you will remember always. So for those of you who may have to travel to get where you're going, travel safely. And I do wish you a very good night. Thank you very much.
Mr. Carter, just responding to some requests. Some folks are asking about their courses and how they can see their course outline. Not their
Yes.
course outline, their course schedule. We don't issue a timetable, but when you register for classes, you have to log into your account on self-service banner. So I just placed a link from our website, and I'm putting it here again. This is the self-service banner link if you need to access your course schedule, all right? So it's important that everybody knows how to access the course schedule. I just want to put it in the chat for you again. And
I
please,
saw someone is saying they got a message blocked trying to get this to student affairs.
student
I
affairs
don't
at COSTAATT.edu.tt.
Yes, I'm not certain that they had the correct address, but they
Maybe
said
you
that they
left
got.
something out. It's student affairs at, maybe you left out. You have to be careful when you're typing in COSTAATT that you put the 2 A's and the 2 T's. So I'm typing the address again here
Mm-hmm.
so that you all can just copy it and paste it. All right. Be sure to include the 2 A's, the 2 T's. Student affairs at COSTAATT.edu.tt. All right. So we really hope to hear from you all. Thanks very much, Mr. Carter. Sorry for interrupting your closing. I just wanted to address that to ensure that everyone was aware that they can get their course schedules and print it via self-service banner.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kamabat. And Dr. Kamabat said, feel free and use the email address. Do write us. We will respond to you in the shortest possible time. And so once again, thank you very much and do have a pleasant evening and a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.